Igor Tudor is the new Juventus manager. Well, he's impressed and he's negotiated his way to a 12-month contract, as reports say. And he's made his intentions clear. He believes the Bianconeri are 3 or 4 signings away from seriously challenging for the Scudetto. The main priorities are a centre-back, a winger, a striker, especially with Dusan Vlahovic expected to leave. But that 4th signing, that's where things get interesting. Could it be another centre-back for extra depth, a midfielder to bring more dynamism, or maybe even a second striker to rotate up front? What do you think? Who should the 4th signing be? And where do Juventus need it the most? Let's start at the back. Tudor's system depends on having solid, confident defenders and a back 3. Besides the Great Wall of Turin Bremer, Juventus are a bit light there. The current group, physically strong and defensively disciplined, but they lacked technical quality needed to build from the back. Ball progression, composure under pressure, and breaking lines with a pass are not strengths of this unit, and that's a concern in Tudor's setup. Now 2 young names stand out. Diego Coppola from Hellas Verona, physically strong, already knows Tudor's system and has valuable Serie A experience. The second, Giovanni Leoni of Parma, one of the most exciting young defenders in Italy, still developing, but already showing excellent timing, awareness, and the courage to play out at the back. Yes, Leoni is 18, but with him, he's a prime example of age is just a number. And don't take that literally. If Juventus opt for a more experienced profile, there's Mario Gila of Lazio, someone Tudor knows well from his time in Rome. Gila offers calmness on the ball, positional discipline, and would bring immediate tactical understanding thanks to his time under Tudor. And Gila is a player that Real Madrid are still monitoring till this day. They have a buyback clause on the Spanish international. And let's just say, if Real Madrid are monitoring you, you must be heading in the right direction. In this system, centre-backs aren't just defenders, they're initiators. Tudor needs players who can step out with the ball, cover the wide areas and stay composed under pressure. It's about tactical IQ and ball circulation, not just size and strength. With Dusan Vlahovic most likely on his way out, Juventus must find a striker who brings more than just goals. In Tudor's system, the striker is expected to press, hold up play, and connect fluidly with the 2 roaming number 10s in behind. Here are 3 possible replacements. Number 1, Jonathan David from Lille, clinical, mobile, and sharp in between the lines. He'd offer both finishing and movement in a more vertical setup. 2, Matteo Retegui of Atalanta, physical, aggressive, and already adapted to the Serie A. He brings the fight and mentality Tudor values. And 3, Kolo Muani, possibly available on a loan, versatile and creative, and he could bring a different attacking dimension. In Tudor's high-intensity setup, the striker isn't just a goal scorer, they're a tactical pivot. Whoever comes in must not only finish chances, but also understand pressing triggers, positional rotations, and link up from day one. There's no time for a slow adjustment. Tactical fit is non-negotiable. Next up, the flanks. Tudor's system depends heavily on wide players who can adapt in real time. Attack like wingers, defend like wingbacks. One name fits the bill, Ndoye of Bologna. He's quick, physically strong, and tactically disciplined. The kind of player who thrives in a transitional system, whether hugging the touchline or cutting inside. Ndoye offers versatility without sacrificing intensity. In Tudor's 3-4-2, this role requires constant awareness, when to press high, when to recover deep, and when to break lines. It's a tactically demanding position, and Ndoye has shown he can manage both sides of the game at a Serie A level. Now let's talk transfer strategy. In my opinion, Juventus should prioritise signing from within the Serie A. Why? Because players already in this league understand the intensity, the tactics and the tempo. There's less of a learning curve and fewer surprises. Plus, when you sign from within the league, you weaken your competitors. It's a strategy used by dominant clubs for years. Just look at Bayern Munich, who consistently sign the best players from their domestic rivals. Of course, if the right deal appears outside of Italy, you take it. But the foundation should be built locally, with players who hit the ground running. So Igor Tudor has the vision, he has tactical plan. Now it's up to Juventus to give him the tools. 3 or 4 signings, targeted, smart, and Serie A ready. A centre-back, a winger, and a striker. And maybe, just maybe, one more. What would you do? Would you double down on defence, add a midfielder to bring more dynamism, or go for attacking depth? Make sure to let me know in the comments. Let's go shopping. None of this 50-cent window shopper antics. Nah, let's spend the cash. Let's spend the money. Let's make some reinforcements. Now, it's being reported Damien Comely, Igor Tudor, they've sat down. They've gotten to know one another. They've exchanged numbers. They've had coffee. They've had a doner kebab. They've even had a carrot cake together. They share the same vision. They see eye to eye. It's looking very likely that Igor Tudor will be the Juventus coach going into the next Serie A campaign. So it's only right, if he's going to be the coach, you get him the players that he needs, because his philosophy, his style of play, his own principles are very different to somebody like a Thiago Motta's. So surely get him the 3-4 players, which he's come out and said all Juventus need is 3-4 players for them to compete and potentially win the Scudetto. So who are these 3-4 players? Now, in my opinion, they need a centre-half. They definitely need a fullback/wingback, and they also need a striker, which is a priority. But the fourth position is open to debate. In my opinion, I feel like Juventus need another centre-half. I think they need 2 centre-halves, 1 wingback/fullback, and a striker. I look at the midfield and I tell myself, it's got enough power, it's got enough legs, it's got enough technical ability to get the job done for another season. Some of these players, it's sink or swim. Douglas Luiz, Coop Miners. But at the end of the day, we can't brush under the carpet what Douglas Luiz has done in the Premier League. We can't brush under the carpet what Coop Miners has done in the Serie A. Like, let's just say, if Coop Miners has another car crash of a campaign, then he is the winner. He is the undisputed winner of the Ballon d'Or award for system players across the world. Okay, he wins the Ballon d'Or for system players. But listen, at the end of the day, we have to go into the season with some faith, because what he done in Atalanta, I saw firsthand what Douglas Luiz done at Aston Villa. I feel like Juventus are definitely rolling the dice on their 2 marquee signings of last summer. But the areas that need strengthening. Player number 1, Miguel Gutiérrez from Girona. Now, he is a player that I like. And I feel like he is a player that every single summer... Actually, wait, before we start, we've already started. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Back to the video. Miguel Gutiérrez. He's a player that every summer is linked with a move away from Girona. And it's not for bad reasons, it's for good reasons, because he does well, he gets the job done, he shows versatility, he shows technical ability. I feel like every summer he's either linked with a move to the Premier League, he's either linked to a move within La Liga, and now he's linked with a move to the Serie A. And he is actually a player that's young, technical, physical, he's got an eye for goal, he is a good player. I've actually had the luxury of watching him, and I feel like this season in particular, Girona, under Miguel, they are starting to play the 3-4-2-1, which is very similar. What am I talking about? Similar. It's identical to Igor Tudor's 3-4-2-1. They want wing backs, but they want wing backs that can attack, and they want wing backs that can defend. The only reason why I look at this deal and say, what's the method behind it, is because Cambiasso, who's linked with Milan, is apparently 100% staying. So I look at him and say, if he is the left wing back, Miguel Gutiérrez is a left wing back. Now, you're not going to spend cash and sign a player just to put them on the bench. Fair enough. It might mean Cambiasso goes to right wing back. Okay? But then I'm looking at somebody like Alberto Costa. Now, yes, you guys might turn around and say to me, but Haj, squad depth, I completely understand. But I look at somebody like Alberto Costa and the finish that he had to the end of the season, and for me, he was looking like an integral piece. Like what he was offering down the right-hand side, it's something that Juventus shouldn't be putting aside, putting on the bench. They need that in their match day starting 11, week in, week out. The dynamism, the ball carrying ability, the fact that he can defend the back post, the fact that he's got an eye for goal. Like, I didn't look at Alberto Costa and say, next season, you should drop down to the bench. If anything, I looked at him and said, next season, you should be a starter. So let me see what you can do. Because I was of the mindset, he will be on the right, Cambiasso will be on the left. But if Juventus are heavily linked with Miguel Gutiérrez, what does that tell me? Somebody is dropping to the bench, and it's looking most likely it will be Alberto Costa. Now, do I disagree with that? Yes and no. Gutiérrez is a very, very, very good player. Cambiasso is a very, very, very good player. If I had to rank the 3, Alberto Costa would probably be 3rd. But it's just a thought in the back of my head that's telling me, maybe, just maybe, the links to Miguel Gutiérrez are because Juventus are opening up to the idea of selling Cambiasso to Milan. I don't know. But the only thing that I do know is the links with Gutiérrez. He is a very, very, very good player. Now, defensively, in centre-half, Juventus have signed Kalulu permanently. Gatti is being linked with a move to Napoli, to Aston Villa. Bremer is back. But the one thing that we do know is 3 centre-halves are required in the 3-4-2-1. Bremer takes 1 spot. I personally look at it and say, they need, like, in my opinion, they just need more technically gifted centre-halves. Kalulu, Gatti, they're good defensively, but they're not technical in my eyes. I'll be honest, like, I'm not saying being a technical centre-half is the be-all and end-all, because Gatti's got fight, he's got hunger, which some technical centre-halves don't have. But let's just say, there's a reason why even under Motta and Igor Tudor, it's a very, very, very similar pattern. Under Motta, Locatelli would consistently drop into the middle, into the centre-halves, to pick up the ball and progress it, because he knows Kalulu and Gatti can't do it. Even under Igor Tudor, Locatelli was still dropping into the middle to pick up the ball and progress it. Now, in my opinion, Renato Vega is an amazing player for them to sign, but I feel like Juventus are being prized away. I do look at Leone, I do look at Coppola, I do look at Mario Gila. In particular, Mario Gila. I think that dude is good. I'll be honest with you guys. That dude is good. And I feel like even this summer, what team did I read? I believe PSG are linked with him. Good player, good on the ball, understands the Serie A. I'm not too sure if he is attainable, but let's just say money talks, okay? So you put the money on the table, I reckon Lazio will accept. He's a good acquisition. Leone, still young, but he's just one of those players where you have to pounce, you have to grab him now, because I guarantee you in 1, 2, 3 years time, his price will triple and he probably won't be at a club where he's attainable, because clubs all over the Serie A are looking at him. Inter's looking at him. Milan is looking at him. So it's only right Juventus should look at him. Coppola is also very, very, very good. He's also young, but he's about, I think, 20, 21, 22. He's ready. He's played under Tudor when Tudor was the coach of Hellas Verona. He is a good centre-half. Very, very, very good. So I look at them, and as much as Tudor has come out and said, I want experienced profiles, I look at them and I tell myself, yes, they're young on paper, but they're experienced within this area. They've got the right hunger, they've got the right attitude, they've got the personality, the charisma to come to Juventus and play. And you have to bear in mind, even if you're young, when you're sharing the pitch with somebody like Bremer, who was a big miss this season, that, what is the word? Aura? Why have I been using the word aura so much these days? Like that leadership, that personality of somebody like Bremer, that defensive security will give you a boost. Because you look to your right and you see a tank, bro. Like you see a guy that's solid. Yeah, and I feel like from that aspect, Juventus have really, really, really missed Bremer. But those are the names that they're linked with. And in my opinion, I would go and get Coppola and Leone. I'll be honest with you guys, like, from the numbers that I've read, Parma are not really asking for much. Even Hellas Verona, they're not really asking for much. I would go and get both, okay? Now, who else? Wingback / fullback / winger, Dan Ndoye from Bologna. He's had his, shall we call it his breakthrough season? Yeah, as much as last season, everybody labelled it as his breakthrough season under Thiago Motta. Even he's come out and said, I felt a little bit restricted because Motta's system was so rigid, it was so strict. Under Vincenzo Italiano, I have license to roam inwards, to get involved, to score some goals. There's a reason why I believe he's on, I think it's like 8 goals, 4 assists. He's been scoring goals. I believe he scored the game-winning goal in the Coppa Italia final against Milan. And Ndoye is a good player, but I'd be a liar if I told you guys I was a big fan of him. I'm just being completely honest with you guys. I'd be a liar if I told you I was a big fan of him. He's good. And I look at Ndoye in a very, very, very similar way that I looked at Nico Gonzalez when Juventus signed him last year from Fiorentina, where I was like, you're good. But are you that good? Nah, not really. Not in my eyes. Like, Juventus can do better. Now, I hope none of you guys ask me, okay, how to choose the replacement, because I haven't really sat down and thought of one. Ndoye is good, but I just always look at it and tell myself, like, Juventus could really, really, really do better. But if they are looking at it from a tactical aspect, a winger that can do the wing-back role where he can bomb forward, he can track back. The one thing about Ndoye that I will never ever take away from him is this dude works hard. He works hard, he's tenacious, he's aggressive, he presses. If this signing is signed for tactical reasons, then I completely understand it, okay? But like I said, at the end of the day, I would still prefer if Juventus go and do a bit more research, maybe go and look at other players, because I feel like there's better than him. Okay, but he is still a good player. Let's just say he's definitely an improvement on what Juventus currently have down the right-hand side. Up front, Retegui, Jonathan David. Now, I've read that Jonathan David, his wage demand and his agent fees are ridiculous, and potentially Napoli are backing away. Milan, who were looking at him, are backing away, and Juventus are backing away. And I'll be honest with you guys, that's the harsh reality of free agents. Yes, it might look good on paper because you're not really paying anything, but behind closed doors, you are paying something. Because you look at players across the world nowadays, they know if I run down my contract and I go down as a free agent, my club won't benefit, but me, the individual, my own personal bank account will benefit. Yeah, bro, have you guys seen the signing on fees for free agents? Yeah, like go and look at Trent's signing on fee. Bro, the signing on fees are ridiculous nowadays, okay? Jonathan David, I feel like he'll get a reality check throughout the season, which is at the moment, he's driving a high bargain, which is he's asking for too much. He thinks he's on top of the world. He thinks clubs across the world want him. Bro, you need to calm yourself down because the money you're asking for, you've got Scudetto winners backing out, okay? I believe Inter were looking at him and they're about to back out. They're about to go and grab the Parma striker, who is actually very, very, very good. They're backing out. And I feel like maybe in 2-3 weeks' time, he might lower his demands, and that's when Juventus might look at him. But he is a good player, I'll be honest with you guys. He's good, he's mobile, he's tenacious, he's aggressive, he scores goals, he's technically gifted. He would actually be of the right age, of the right mold, of the right tactical fit. But like I said, I'm not going to turn around and tell you guys Juventus should go and offer an arm and a leg for him. There's players out there that they can sign that are better, that can probably hit the ground running and still cost you far less as a complete package. Somebody like Retegui. Now, it's being reported, I don't know if this is true, I'll be honest with you guys. It's being reported that Atalanta want 40 to 45 million for their Serie A top goal scorer of the year. I don't know what is going on at Atalanta this summer. I'm hearing Juric is taking over. I've never been a fan of Juric, I'll be honest. Juric is taking over. Gasperini is gone. 40, 45 million for a Serie A top goal scorer who's just scored you 25 goals? Like, surely a player of that quality is untouchable, but clearly he is. 40, 45 million for Retegui. As much as I've made a video and I said I like him, but I don't like him that much. Oh, Retegui for 45 million. Brother, I love you. 45 million for Retegui. Bring you on. 25 Serie A goals. Good goals. Left foot, right foot. Presses like an animal from the front. And he comes from a very, very, very similar system. Like, of course, different principles. But Gasperini, Tudor, they both play 3-4-2-1. He's fluid. He was chopping and changing with Lukman, with Samardzic, with all of those players. 45 million for Retegui, for me, is a steal. But the problem is, Milan are also looking at him. So Juventus have to be fast. But those are the players that they are currently linked with. And I'll be honest with you. Juventus improves with a Retegui. If you bring in Retegui and you get rid of Vlahovic, it's an improvement. If you bring in a Dan Ndoye and you even put him as a wing back or in between the roaming striker, like for example, Ndoye and Kenan Yildiz, there's technical ability, there's physicality, there's two players that are willing to press, and there's two players that are willing to track back. Like, that trio alone will be pressing teams non-stop. Kenan doesn't stop off the ball, Ndoye doesn't stop off the ball, and Retegui doesn't stop off the ball. It's good recruitment. Miguel Gutiérrez, lovely player. But like I said, there's question marks because I don't know what the long-term vision is. But if they were to bring him in, he is a good player. The centre-halves, in my opinion, I hope they sign too. I really, really, really do hope they sign too. I look at Gatti, I look at Kalulu, and I say, you guys are good, but you guys are good for now. And there's a peak. And I feel like I've seen both of their peaks. And it's not the be-all and end-all, I'll be honest with you. Like, I look at both of them and I say, you're good squad pieces. If anything, I probably have Kalulu higher than Gatti. Yeah, Gatti, leader, warrior. But I definitely do look at him and say, it's like he's got the bozo gene, if you know what I mean. Like, there's just always a mistake with Gatti. And I feel like playing out of the back, the technical ability, the reading of situations, I haven't been too impressed with him in that case. But let's see who Juventus get. If you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on another one.